Dana Balter, a Syracuse University professor, didn't think she'd be making a career change. That is, until national politics changed her mind.
What we are talking about in class is all of the things that make democracy work, that make democracy both beautiful and difficult and frustrating, all at the same time. And Donald Trump challenges and threatens a lot of those things.
Now, she's running for Congress in New York's 24th District.
Sort of the broad impetus for me to do this is growing up with a brother who has cognitive disabilities. And what he taught me from a really young age is how important it is to stand up for the underdog and make sure that every single person in our society has dignity and access. Those are the ideas that have shaped the way I see the world.
When I graduated from college, I went to work in disability services, largely because of my experiences growing up with my brother and understanding what kinds of challenges he faced in life.
I had those experiences of standing by his side when kids in the neighborhood called him names that to this day make my skin crawl. I know what it's like to be on the receiving end of that. I watched what it did to him. I know what it felt like to me, even though it wasn't me that those words were aimed at. I don't care who you are or what you do, nobody deserves to be treated that way. And that is really what started this whole journey for me. One of the things that is so frustrating to me about what Donald Trump and the people around Donald Trump are doing now that he is in office is they are undermining those principles of dignity and access.
Following the election of Donald Trump, Balter found herself looking for a new way to channel her discontent. She found that in the group CNY Solidarity, a grassroots organization dedicated to fighting President Trump's policies, appointees, and rhetoric.
One of the efforts that I was most involved in that organization was the effort to try to get Congressman John Katko to do the right thing, to try to get him to stand up to Donald Trump, to try to get him to fight for the policies that we need, to try to get him to hold open meetings where his constituents could come and ask him questions and hear from him directly. And unfortunately, he was unwilling to do any of those things. And in addition to that, his inaccessibility to me and the rest of the people that he represents, his unwillingness to talk to us and to listen to us, which I believe is the most fundamental responsibility of a representative, made it clear to me that my energy was going to be best used by running against him.
Now on the campaign trail, Balter has made a point to do things that she claims Katko hasn't.
Anywhere somebody wants to have a conversation about the issues, about the things they're concerned about this election, about what's going on in their lives or in their community, I want to be there. I heard from one gentleman who is a retired postal worker. He was really concerned because his fellow postal worker union members were talking about how they had all just seen a $200 increase in their healthcare premiums because of some of the changes made at the federal level. A lot of his friends were very concerned about not being able to afford healthcare anymore.
Balter says there are 5 key issues in her campaign.
First is universal health care. Second is fully funding public education. Third is making sure that we're living up to the value of equal treatment under the law and looking very carefully at criminal justice reform. The last thing that I'm talking about covers 2 areas. I'm advocating for investing in a regional green economy.
But those issues aren't what Balter plans to tackle first.
Until we get big money out of politics, we can't make progress on any of these other issues. Big money in politics means that lawmakers are beholden to their large donors instead of to their constituents.
Even in the heart of the campaign, Balter still finds time for a daily inspiration.
In the lobby of the Maxwell Building, we have a statue of George Washington, and behind him on the wall is an inscription of the Athenian Oath. I love that spot in the building, and I love the Athenian Oath because what it tells us is that as citizens, our obligation is to transmit the city better and more beautiful than it was transmitted to us.